like 2 announcements, probably. There was a question from the previous presentation about Android Wear. Can your phone be connected to many smartwatches at the same time? So the answer is it can, but it works only with the one smartwatch. So if you connect to the one smartwatch, the second one won't receive any notification from your companion app. And you can switch between those two back and forth, but the other one won't be notified every time. I'm not sure if they are connected at the backend level. I will have to check that today evening probably, or even tomorrow, and probably I will notify you or just post it somewhere, because it's quite interesting question. And the second information is that I have a free ticket for Mobile Central Europe 2015 for you guys, and I will ask a question at the end, and the winner will get that. And also I will have something for every one of you, so just hold it. Okay, so back to the topic. The presentation will be about Android Wear views. Watch views, because there are quite new views in Android Wear platform introduced, and how you can use those views to speed up your process of creating app, how to make the user experience better, because they are quite system looking like other of the system. And about me, I'm Michal from Warsaw, Poland. I'm working at Polida as Android developer, obviously, and after hours, I'm also a Warsaw GDG organizer, so it's very nice to be here as with other GDGs. Okay, so small about Android Wear history, because some of you might skip the previous presentation from Wojtek. So go back in time 2 years ago, year 2012, there was a bunch of smartwatches. They are very different from each other. Even the smartwatches from the same manufacturer were quite different. For example, Samsung have a bunch of smartwatches, and each of them were very different from each other. And it's not the best case for users, because they don't know what to expect from the name smartwatch. Because if somebody tells them, I have a smartwatch, or there is a cool app for a smartwatch, they don't know what to expect from that device that their friend have, or something like that. And it's very poor situation for us developers, because we cannot create apps for devices that have like 5–10% of market share. Oh, we can, but if we want to create an app that covers most of the market, we have to cover at least few of those smartwatches, and it's very difficult because each of them have very different screen, for example, and it's not the best case. And at the beginning of that year, Google presented their platform from Android, Android Wear. They started with the preview of that platform. It's quite different from what we see, for example, with Google Glass, because they released the emulator before the presentation of the product itself. So that's very nice. But what Android Wear is now. So basically, those 3 words, as Wojtek mentioned them, are quite crucial. So we have to make as simple app as we can, because it's very crucial to be aware that the screen is very small. The app should be context aware, so we shouldn't make from notification list app launcher list. So it's, I think, the very important thing. And the most crucial one for me, we should make extensions of apps for mobile, not the separate apps. So, for example, if you are creating an app for notes, you shouldn't create an app specifically for Android Wear. You should create an app for your phone and then extend it to your Wear. Because if we end up with the 2 app for notes on Wear and the second one on our phone, they don't have a synchronized data between those 2, I think it's very poor designed app. And now we are at the very similar place as we were in 2012, because we are getting more and more smartwatches. But they are based on the Android Wear platform, which is quite nice for us as developers, because we can develop app that can have like 80, 90, even maybe 100 market share on the smartwatches market. And now comes the probably one of more known problems as us Android developers, that these devices have very different screens. So, and sensors at more things even, but the screen for us is very crucial because we display information on it. And for example, round screen is very different from the square one, and we have to take that into account. So probably you might suspect something how to cover that problem, and probably you are right, because we will use views, the different layouts for separate screens shapes. And the view is probably the true hero of the taking care of different screen shapes. And this is the definition of the Android Wear view. What is it? And the sentence is probably the most important one from all that definition. So it's the building block of our app. So using the view, we display information to the user. So it's our way to basically do anything and react to touches and etc. So the first one that you will encounter with your adventure with Android Wear is Where View Stop. That's the most common one probably, because if you start to make an Android Wear app, you will use the project wizard probably for Android Studio. And that's the create project and select the where as well as an option. And where view will be suggested option. So Google is using that to cover also around shapes of our smartwatches. So, but isn't a golden view of our smartwatch? Probably not, but I will answer that in a moment. And it covers that problem. So we have this round shape of the display, and we have the content that scales to the normal square one shape of the screen. So how we deal with that? We use 3 XML files. This is the main one, the Where View Stop itself. And if you take a look, there are 2 quite important ones: the rectangular layout attribute and the round layout. Maybe even more will be introduced in the future, because we don't know what the future will bring on the smartwatches market. So that layout uses 2 XML other layouts itself. That's the view of our app. To use one of those if the screen is round or shape or square one. And it looks like that. If we have 2 separate layout files, we can do many things. Like we can hide some things on round screen, and we can add some more information on the square one, or other way around. So it's very convenient for us, but also it has some drawbacks. Because if we create one view, it gives us 3 XML files, and we have to take care of each of them. So if we have an app that have, for example, more than one view, it's getting more and more complicated in our layout folder. And implementing something, we just add something to our layout folder. It renders correctly on our preview on the right. But then we run it on emulator or device itself, and we see there are no changes, because we forgot to add those things in other layout. And it's quite common. I encountered those problems a few times, so it's quite crucial to remember that we have to update the second layout as well. So the second one that takes the same to solve the same problem is the box inset layout. The one I think it's even easier than the previous one, because it will just if we have some content in our view, in our layout, it will scale to the edges of the screen. That's common Android thing, that if we set parameters attributes is to match parent width and height. And the box inset layout will do the same, but will not align the edge to the edge, but it will align the corner to the edge of screen. So in that case, no text will be abandoned outside of the screen. It's quite easy to implement. We just make it on the root level, and we put all content of our layout inside of it. And we have some new attribute there, layout box. And it gives us the possibility to restrict some edges of the screen that the box layout have to align. So all attribute is probably that one we will use in most cases. But there is also the left, right, top, bottom attributes is there. And for example, using attributes as top and left, our content will be aligned to left and top edges, those corners. And it will, if we have more content, it will go outside of the screen to the right and to the bottom. So we can handle such situations in those using those attributes in some cases. Using smartwatches, probably you will use the graphics that are quite mostly round because it looks nice. I think with the Android L is more and more common that some buttons are round. If we have one action per screen, the button is round. So probably you will like to keep that in mind. And Google is giving us the tool to using that very easily, just circle image view. So the view that make a circle from our asset. So for example, some image from the drawable, we set borders, we set some radius of that, and we get something looking like that. So it's quite easy and looking quite nice, I think. So we don't have to do much about that. There is one more thing, the dismiss overlay view. The one allows us to dismiss some content. So for example, if you have an app, so okay, let's start it like that. The common pattern in Android Wear to exit an app is to swipe from left to the right. And it works on the level of the system and also on our apps. So it's quite common to user to just swipe from left to the right to exit our app. But if we want to if we would like to make action there, so for example some slider from left to the right to choose some value or something like that, we would like to block that action. And it's possible with that attribute in style folder. So we just set swipe to dismiss to false. But user would like to exit our app probably at some point, and we should give that opportunity to him or her. So the dismiss overlay view comes to our help, and we can use it. Okay, it goes out of the screen there. Oh, I see it. Okay, we put it on our layout on the root view, so it will cover our content. But it starts invisible, so it isn't active. And there is some code about gesture detector. So I put it there because probably the most common pattern that you will use the dismiss overlay view is gesture detector. So the second one recommended thing to exit our app is long press. So we just react and show the dismiss overlay view, and it will handle our activity finish, just like that. And it will look like that. It will cover our content in quite nice look. And it can be dismissed as well, so for a gesture or just tapping on some outside area of that button. Also, you have to take into account that the screen is quite small, and user can, in many cases, make a mistake tapping something. So even user can just by mistake choose something, and we shouldn't do an action like that. Just perform that action after tapping some button. For example, calling a cab. It shouldn't be done like that. It should be done with some delay, because user should have a way to cancel that action. And there is a delay confirmation view for that. It will look like on the left, for example, calling a cab. And the cab is requested, that action was called, and we still give some time to user to change their mind to basically cancel that action. Okay. It will look like that on XML view. So it looks like the circle one, the circle image view, but we just add the radius pressed, so it will react to press of the user. Also, we should implement some code. Basically, just to simplify things, on the top you will see the time that we can give to user to cancel our action. And on the start, we will get called on timer selected, so user called our action. And on time finished, so user didn't cancel our action, and it wasn't canceled during that time, so 2 seconds. It will look like that. It's quite nice, and it will fill out that round shape around our circle image view. And I think you would like to make some more advanced app as well. Not even the small, like one activity with the just some content that scales to the screen. That's good, but what if you would like to make something more advanced? There is a grid view pager that uses the same pattern as other system apps on Android Wear. And there is a quite code, but there are only a few things that you should take out of that screen. There is isRound method in the middle of the screen, and we take into account if screen is round, and if the screen is round, we just make our paddings a little bit bigger, because it looks nice just like that. And in XML it's quite easy, just the grid view pager. Okay, and it looks like that. Just very nice, very same looking as other Android Wear apps, and we can fill it with our data. But we have to fill it. We have to fill it with something, and card fragment is the one we would like to use because it looks like other notification cards, and we just use it as any fragment. And we there on the constructor we just set up the title and icon and content of it. So it looks like any other notification from Android Wear. And it's very nice to users that have the same experience through all the system, all the apps. But and it will look like that. And what's the difference? The second one is the custom one. We can set up our own layout of that notification card. So we can add some icons, we can add some more features in that card, or we can just remove the icon on the right. It's just that simple. And we can fill it with our own data as well, just with other layout of that card. How cool is that? We can set up the same experience, and user will have the same experience, and we can add more things, we can remove some things, just look like that. In the page of the fragment, we'll just add there a card content of that. So card frame is our probably best friend on Android Wear. So using those views, we can create apps that works, just that use the same experience than other Android Wear apps and have very nice features, because user doesn't wonder what does this button do, why this button looks like on the phone. It just looks like any other button on Android Wear. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much. Questions? Yes. Okay, I think the question is, do we have a text that scales to the screen to fill up the screen, yes? Okay, so we have it as a separate library. It's a custom library that's available on the GitHub. I don't remember the author. It's working well on Android Wear as well, because I use it on my project. So I can recommend it to you, and we don't have a system view for that or system attribute for that. So sorry, not for now. Okay?
Me? Okay, thanks. Michal, you mentioned view stub that solves the task of providing different layouts for different device shapes. And did you think why this view was introduced and this task was not handled by introducing, for example, a separate dimension configuration that would reduce one amount of layout files and make our life easier?
I think, okay, so that question comes, I think, a few times on a few occasions, also on a Stack Overflow. And the Wayne Piekarski, the author of Android Wear platform on Google, said it's their decision and they just decided to go that way instead of creating the separate layout folder. They didn't put any arguments behind it, more strong arguments. So, sorry. Okay.
We were playing with Wearable SDK, and there is one more Wearable list view specialization for the list view. And we faced the issue that we can't change the height of the selected item or the focused one. Like, if we make view bigger than this specified height, it just clipped. Do you know if it can be like changed or?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I didn't use the list view for now, at least, because I heard there are some bugs in it, and I didn't include it the repo, the sample repo, because that's repo, the repo that contains all of those views is available at my GitHub, so you can try to play with it. And I didn't use the list view for now because, yeah, I heard there are some issues with that.
And what about black and white watches, for example, for disabled who has contrast, you see?
Yeah. Okay, so about contrast, probably the answer is not connected to the where it's stable, because there are accessibility services in Android that can take care about color blindness, and we can take care about that in our also mobile app, not only on Wearables. So it just works as well as mobile.
Is it possible to use this kind of views in normal layout?
Sorry?
Use these views in normal layout, normal application?
Probably not. To use those views, you have to add dependency the variable services, and I'm not sure how it will react on the mobile. Probably it will work, but I'm not sure how it will propagate through Google Play services if you would like to upload it on Google Play. Yes? Sorry, I didn't hear the question well. So, okay, can we have a microphone or? Okay, I will just repeat the question maybe. Okay, sure.
We have some applications which were written for in 12 and if they will be displayed in a good way on, for example, your circle screen watches.
Okay, it depends, because if you add the bigger margins on our paddings on the edges, probably it will display correctly. But most likely it won't, and I think the easiest way is to add the stub layout view to add two views, and on the round screen you have to add just bigger margins. Yeah, sorry. No. Yeah, you have to just add the correct layouts for the round screen. Okay.
Okay, and I have a next question. Is Android L animation is available for Wear? Is the first, and the second is imagine I want to use a Google Map fragment in my project. What type of layout I must use, should to use, and is set zoom to span works correctly on Wear?
Okay, so the first question about, sorry, can you remind me? The first question was?
Yes, is Android L animation?
Yeah, okay. No, because the Android Wear uses the API level 20, I guess, if I remember correctly, and animation from the L preview or the Android L are not available there. So maybe in the future, but not yet. And I asked a similar question to the authors of the Android Wear, and if we should use the animation for Android L on our smartwatches on Android Wear itself, and the answer was not exactly. So some of them yes. For example, if we have the delay view, so there is some action, but not the same exact animation as Android L. So yeah, there are separate animation for that. The second question was about, sorry? Yeah, the Google Maps, okay. So it's quite interesting. The answer is not that obvious. There is a, I don't remember the author, there is a project, I think, on some blog that a guy created a map of the surface of the moon. So you can select the moon mission, like Apollo 16 or something like that, and see it on the map. And you can scroll that map on your smartwatch, and he solved it by using the images. And if you swipe to the right, it just get another image from your phone and send it to the watch, because there is no good layout to swipe and just put a bigger map there and navigate through it. So I think it's based on some hacks and tricks, and so okay.
Okay, do you have an opportunity to send video from the phone on your device?
So video from your phone to the device. You can set assets as images, but I'm doubting if there is an opportunity to send a video. I'm not sure about that. Okay, any other question?
Who have any questions? Okay, I can probably ask a question.
Oh, yeah.
You show us one screen where it was title and description in 2 lines. So the question is, on the second screen it was shown that you hide a button, or something like it was like blue point on the...
Oh yeah, the custom cards.
Yeah.
It was, I think, not that far away, yeah.
This one. So my question is there any way like swiping on this card and just showing the blue line if we want to see it?
Okay, so using a card frame or card fragment, we can put those in structure like a grid view pager or scrollable view cards. There is some structure for that as well. And we can react to those swiping on the right and left. So this is just our view as activity and others, so we can play with it as we wish. So we can hide and unhide that probably.
Okay, so when you just swipe it, it could be like text could be shifted to left, and this blue dot will be shown.
Probably yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Just getting the gesture of the swipe and reacting to it, to changing something on the card itself.
Yeah, because
it shouldn't be a problem.
It should recognize that it's just gesture on this card, not on the whole watch. and it's very important because just on whole watch, it could manage to another things.
Yeah. Okay. So that view is separated from the list of our notifications. So it will open on the separate screen, not in middle of our notifications. So it won't be a part of a notification list.
Okay.